Njeri Njoroge, an importer and exporter of products internationally, is now missing for 2 days. She reported to the CID on Thursday. Until today, we cannot be able to trace her where she was or where she is currently. This is having as a story that has a background. And having imported fuel, 100,000 metric tons of oil diesel, which was to be sold to any party that was willing to buy it from her. Apart from that, she has tried to also bring the oil into the country, to import it to the country. Of course, she's aware of the rules that require on how you can import oil, especially when it is G to G or government to government. The problem has been that as she's trying to do so, after having brought the fuel through a ship that is christened by the name Hagui, with her partner, an Israeli, when she tried to import the oil into the country, she met a few individuals who tried to help her so that she can be able, because she does not have an import permit or import license of fuel. Under the new rules of 2003, she cannot be able to import oil into the country. Certain persons called Ramco and other people called Galana took advantage of such a situation and tried to steal the oil from her. On 4th of November, when the oil was on high seas, Anne was informed that the ship that was containing the oil had been brought into the dock, into Mombasa port. She had not authorized so. The ship had not docked into Kenya. The people who did that was Kenya Ports Authority. Under whose instructions, we do not know. Other people who were involved in this transaction included Kenya Pipeline. Under whose instructions, again, we do not know. When Anne noticed that this was the transaction that was going on, she rushed to the Kenya Ports Authority, KPA police, at the Kenya Ports Police in Mombasa. Made a report on 4th. She got an OB number and expected that investigations would go on because the ship had been brought into the dock. She wanted to know under whose authority because these were her products. She rushed to the OCS. The ship was stopped and transactions about the ship were stopped so that nobody else could now do anything about the ship. She has been following up this matter closely. And when she followed it up with the port police 2 days later, she was told that the people claiming it were Galana Enterprises. She has nothing to do with Galana. She went and reported this issue again. The officer said that no, Galana have said that the oil products belong to them and they are the qualified importers through Ramco, who had instructed them. Galana being an agent for international oil companies. This was not true because the documents that they were trying to show are not genuine. And tried to inquire from them as to how the ship came into the dockyard, who was the host, who was the person bringing it, what documents were used to bring the ship in, because then Kenya Revenue and other people must be involved once you bring the ship into the yard. That was not shown to her. Remember, she's the complainant. She filed a case on the 8th in Mombasa High Court. She got orders whereby the ship was to be arrested and no transaction were to take place on the ship until the inter partes hearing, which is supposed to appear on the 14th of November, which is on Tuesday. Any parties involved there were supposed to offer their responses within 48 hours. We have noticed that Galana have now put in a response. Kenya Pipeline have not done so. Kenya Ports Authority have not done so. Kenya Revenue have also not done so. On Thursday, Anne received a phone call and was told to report to CID headquarters. She was cautious about it, but the first thing she did is she tried to speak to the Mr. Chirchi, the energy minister, who told her that she needs to go and report to CID headquarters in Nairobi. She went to CID headquarters in Nairobi and met the DCI himself, Mr. Amin, who handed her over to Mr. Birech, in charge of investigations. She was told to record a statement. After recording a statement, when she was to leave, she was blocked by a Mr. Kibet and some other 2 officers. Since then, we have not seen Anne. We have tried to look for her. We do not know where she is. We do not know which station. We do not know whether this is the same disappearing acts that used to happen with the previous government that has started at this particular moment. I myself personally called an officer in charge of investigations, Mr. Birech. And I'm saying this openly, and I'm saying this quite clearly. I have even the record that I called him. I spoke to him. Mr. Birech told me he does not know what I'm talking about. They do not know about any Anne. They don't know anything about the fuel. They do not know anything about that. They forgot one thing, that Anne had recorded a statement and she has forwarded the copy of the statement to us, which I have on my phone. How then can the investigating officer or the person in charge of investigation say that they do not know where she is? This is the reason why we are making noise about it. The fuel we are talking about is worth 17 billion shillings. That is not small money. So when cartels start moving in and start making fake documents and our client disappears and the oil has been moved from high seas and into the dock and nobody is saying anything, something fishy is going on. Yes, we agree that she does not have an import license. But why remove the ship from high seas? Why don't you let her go with it wherever she can go with it? She can get other markets elsewhere. She has done that before. She's been in oil import and export business for 33 years. She's not somebody who just started recently. She's got a registered company here in Kenya as well as in Dubai. She's got partners. She gets financing from very many companies. It is important that the state comes out clearly and tells us where Anne has gone. The minister who directed that she goes and reports this matter to the DCI must know, because thereafter we have not seen Anne. So we are asking, where is Anne? Mr. Birech says he doesn't know what we are talking about. I have tried to speak to the Kenya Port Police here in Mombasa. They are telling me that it's a multi-agency investigation. Since when? There was no investigation that has been going on. Anne reported this matter, made her statement, both in CID headquarters in Nairobi, as well as at the Port Police. Her initial report was at the Port Police. Why is it that the DCI have taken up this matter and denied the Port Police from investigating this matter further? Is it because of that? Because when I asked when I was asking the officer and I was explaining to him in details who Anne was, the next question, after denying that whether he knows her or not, or whether the case is there or not, he asked me, "Huyu mwanamke ametoa pesa mingi namna hii wapi?" What has mwanamke got to do with this issue? Pali ametoa pesa is not even the problem. If cartels want to steal oil because it's worth 17 billion shillings right now, then we are afraid that Anne might disappear. Remember, 24 hours later, she has not been taken to any court. Not to any court. Her lawyers in Nairobi, David Chumo, who had escorted her to the CID headquarters, can confirm that they took her and left her with a Mr. Kibet and Mr. Birech at the time they were leaving. How can then Mr. Birech deny that he does not know where she is? I am beginning to feel, if we do not take action right now, if the state does not come with a response, if the Inspector General does not say anything, if the DCI does not say anything, Anne is going to disappear. She is in this country. She was there with them last. She has recorded a statement. I will give you a copy of the statement. I will send